I think it's safe to say you would actually enjoy punching Scarlett O'Hara at least a little bit.
I would love to. I'd love to punch her right in the corset because she can't breathe. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Book Report presented by The Millions. My name is Janet.
And my name is Mike.
Earth-shattering news this week. Slash announced in an interview last Friday that he and Axel are friends again.
Oh my god.
It's a great time to be alive. I mean, no one thought this was going to happen, ever. Mike and I are going to talk about some of our favorite literary friendships. Absolutely. None of which come close to Slash and Axel, but who can't? For my first literary friendship that I love, I don't have the book, but it is Gone with the Wind. One of my favorite friendships in literature and parts of that book is the friendship between Rhett Butler and Melanie Wilkes. They obviously have like a lot of high regard for each other. Mm-hmm. And I think it's such a cool friendship because it fleshes out both of their characters in a really interesting way. Like, yeah. Rhett is supposed to be like, you know, a very shallow ladies' man who's only out for himself. The fact that Melanie sees the best in Rhett Butler and sees that he's a very loyal and trustworthy man well before anybody else does, again, shows a lot about her. They really see the best in each other when other people don't. Everything else seems so antiquated and illogical. Like, you're marrying who? Who's your best friend? What? And so then, like, them two really, like, digging each other in a platonic way, I'm on board.
My first great literary friendship is in the book, one of my favorite books, Wonder Boys by Michael Chabon. Oh. Great book, and the friendship at the center of it is between James Lear, who is a student, an English major student, and his professor, Grady Tripp. I had professors when I was in college that I later became friends with, and they were all kind of, you know, sort of like Grady Tripp, they were all just sort of weird people. And, you know, after being in their class for a while, you kind of realize, oh, you know, they're sort of just like us. They're, you know, otherwise they wouldn't be teaching English. There's something screwed up about them. It's just these kind of two misfits who are not really like each other, but who do like each other. And it's sweet and it's realistic. And I feel like Michael Chabon's maybe the best at doing that kind of thing.
The next one that I had is from one of my very favorite books that I've read in the past couple of years, which is The Interesting.
Love that book. Love that book.
The relationship that's probably the most explored, or maybe the most interesting, is her relationship with her friend Ethan, who had been in love with her when he was a kid. But the relationship that I liked so much in this book was her friendship with Ash, who is another girl that she grew up with who ends up marrying Ethan. It's a really great depiction of what it's like to be friends with someone who's very pretty, which is like, it's a thing. Like, it's a factor in your relationships with pretty people. So there are all these things that affect female friendship, just like differences in physical appearances, difference in money, difference in sort of like who your husband is, that affect their relationship, but yet their friendship is always very strong. Like, there's not a lot of conflict, and you just watch them like stay loyal to each other over 20 years, even though there are all these hard things to navigate. My
next great literary friendship, maybe kind of an obvious one, but I don't care, I love it. It is Jeeves and Wooster from PG Wodehouse's Jeeves and Wooster books. Bertie Wooster is this sort of aristocratic playboy, sort of single, bon vivant kind of guy, and Jeeves is his valet, his, you know, butler. They really just, they kind of talk like old friends, although there's like a difference in the register. I really think it's just a good example of like, you know, when two guys are friends and kind of known each other for a long time, and they have their little in-jokes and signals, and they're just used to each other. If I were to have a butler, and if the universe is listening, I'd like to think that we would become friends, like Jeeves and Wooster did. One more literary friendship for you. It's kind of a two-part. There's this guy right here, Jonathan Franzen.
Look at you!
And then there's this guy right here, a bird that I drew. I drew that. The friendship between Jonathan Franzen and the birds of the world, I think, is a beautiful thing.
What would Axl Rose say? I wonder if there are no Guns N' Roses songs about friendship. Paradise City is kind of about friendship. Like, Paradise City is the song that's the most about like their lives together as a band.
Friends.
Take me home, Axl Rose. But don't. Real scary.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So this has been the book report.
We'll see you next week. You'll never walk alone, Janet.
You'll never walk alone, Mike.